What's up everybody, it's me E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and in case if you haven't heard, the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, James Gunn, has recently been fired by Disney. So today I'm going to quickly catch you up on the news, give you my take on the whole thing, and I'm going to share with you my top 5 directors that I think would do a pretty good job in the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie, coming up next. If you haven't already, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button, and while you're at it, click on that little bell too. Alright, so let's start off with the news about James Gunn getting fired by Disney. Back around 2008 or 2009, James Gunn tweeted out a lot of disturbingly unfunny comments that were supposedly jokes referring to rape and pedophilia, among other things. If you follow James Gunn's social media, then you'll know he's been very vocal with his more liberal political opinions. So the other day, conservative bloggers decided to deep dive into Gunn's social media. According to Gunn, he had made those comments with the intention of them being jokes. I think most people agree that the jokes weren't funny, and for the time being, he's not connected to any allegations or actions of following through with those jokes. Anyway, Gunn actually has apologized for those crude jokes back in 2012. Afterwards, Disney still decided to hire him to write and direct the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and more. Despite his previous apology, Gunn apologized yet again when his tweets resurfaced, but it was too late. Disney snapped their fingers and severed ties to him. As for my thoughts on the matter, I don't think Gunn's jokes were funny at all. I didn't mind him apologizing multiple times because in reality, people do change and there's not an age limit for change. He definitely rocked the hornet's nest by sharing his political views and such, but that's whatever. What I find concerning is this apparent knee-jerk reaction by Disney in firing him so quickly. It's one thing to fire someone for something they said or did recently. It's another thing to fire someone for something that they said or did that you weren't aware of, and it was just brought to light. I just find it kind of hard to believe that a huge company like Disney didn't do any type of research on Gunn's past or have any knowledge of his previous apology for those crude jokes before they decided to hire him. I mean, if he was good enough for you to hire, and ever since he hasn't made any type of similar jokes or comments thereafter, how is it fair to punish someone again? It almost feels like a bit of double jeopardy. Anyway, I know this is a murky subject and a lot of you have opinions on the whole matter, so feel free to let me know your thoughts on Gunn's firing in the comments down below. Moving on, let's go over the top 5 directors who could take over the next Guardians of the Galaxy film. Coming in at number 5, Lexi Alexander. Now Lexi does have some experience working with Marvel already in the past. Back in 2008, she directed Punisher Warzone. It should be noted that this movie was actually done by Lionsgate Studios and Marvel was a partner in distribution. Apparently, there were a lot of issues going on with this movie, like release dates getting changed up, poor marketing, and decisions by Lionsgate that Alexander didn't really agree with. I suppose my only concern with Alexander is her lack of experience with the scale of world building that comes with a Guardians movie, and the bigger budget that comes along with it as well. On the plus side, she's actually a former world karate kickboxing champion and could easily add some more action to the next Guardians film if Marvel wanted to go that route. I think that Lexi could deserve a second shot at doing a Marvel movie if given the opportunity. Coming in at number 4, F. Gary Gray. Gray has a pretty good track record so far, and I think he can cover a lot of the basics with the Guardians movie. His first feature film was Friday, so he's at least got some comedy under his belt. He can deliver suspense and drama given his work in Set It Off and Law-Abiding Citizen, and when it comes to big budget franchises with an ensemble cast, he does have The Fate of the Furious on his resume too. My concern with Gray is I don't know if he'd have the time because he's already been tapped to do the latest Men in Black spin-off film, which drops in 2019. So if he were selected for the next Guardians movie, it may end up being more of a rush job since the Guardians movie is supposed to release in 2020. That's just cutting it close. Coming in at number 3, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. The talented directors would seem to be a likely fit to step up to the next Guardians movie. They've definitely got a grip on the comedy genre with hits like The Lego Movie, 22 Jump Street, and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I think they could definitely nail the more comedic aspect of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. What I especially like from them is, similar to Gunn, they both write and direct their films. That's usually a pretty good way to ensure that the creator's vision is realized at its fullest. Now, as some of you may know, Lord and Miller were originally supposed to do the last Han Solo film until they had a bit of a falling out with Lucasfilm. Some say that there were creative differences or that the directors weren't prepared to handle the pressure of such a big film like Solo. If they got pegged to do the Guardians movie, I don't think that would be the case, mainly because there have been a lot of stories about how great Marvel works with their directors for the most part. Coming in at number 2, Taika Waititi. Now, I know many people have Tyka as their #1 pick. To be honest with you, he was the very first pick I had in mind when I started thinking about this list. After Thor Ragnarok, Tyka proved that he could bring the good old Marvel fun to a character like Thor. Not only that, but Thor's interactions with the Guardians of the Galaxy in Avengers Infinity War were some of the best parts of the film. This would be an extremely easy choice for Marvel to make. However, I wonder if Tyka would accept the job. If he's really close friends with James Gunn, he may feel some type of way just coming in and taking over. Then again, maybe if Tyka takes the job and crushes it, he does it in a way to honor Gunn. Either way, Tyka would be a clear no-brainer for the next Guardians movie. And now, for my #1 pick for the next director to do the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie, I'm gonna go with Brad Bird. Yeah, I know, Tyka is the popular pick, but I've got to be honest, once I started actually looking at Brad Bird's resume, I started to get pretty convinced that he might be the best pick for this movie. I mean, Brad Bird really impressed me with the first Incredibles movie. He's obviously got a good relationship with Disney, he writes and directs his films. In terms of pressure, Incredibles 2 was really good despite the long 14-year wait. Furthermore, his films have some really good balance that mesh well with what the Guardians movies have been doing all along. From the Incredibles movies to Iron Giant to Mission Impossible 4, Brad Bird has comedy, adventure, drama, and action all checked off the list. And if I'm just being honest, he really sold me with that final superhero battle scene in Incredibles 2. Alright, that's all I've got for today. What did you all think about my top 5 directors for the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie? Did you agree with my list? Is there a director that I didn't mention that you think should be? If so, let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you very much for joining me. If you happen to have a little bit more time, feel free to check out some of my other videos. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. In the meantime, I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.